recording, and any copyright matters, you better have good lawyers.
Oh my God, my hair looks awful.
No, honey, you look splendid. Yes, you are good the way you are. Márcia, this is Carolina. Carolina is a very good friend of mine for more than 12 or 15 years now.
Yes.
Yes, she was my student. That's how I met her. And then we became closer friends. We have a mutual friend who's Derek. Unfortunately, he's not being able to be here today because he's traveling again, right now. That's all what Derek does. Derek travels. And Carolina got the chance to move to the US to work there.
Okay.
And now she is a happy mom of two wonderful kids. And I would like to just be comfortably exchanging your sensations about being an expat.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. How long have you been in the US, Caroline?
I've been now for 5 years, actually.
Oh my God!
5 years.
Yes, May 15 was 5 years, and I was talking with Ju. Ju is a little bit late, but he's coming, and we said, "Oh my God, it's 5 years already, and it's so many things happen, during all these 5 years."
Time flies.
Yes, and now we are parents.
Yeah, you hear the little voices there.
Yes, I think somebody will join us.
Oh, great. Oh, my goodness.
So sweet.
Márcia.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you say hi, Elena?
Hello, Elena. How are you?
Can you say hi? So, I mean, it's a 5 year, but it looks like a long journey, right? I think being an immigrant, I would say it changes you so much.
Yeah.
So,
For the better, or for the better.
For better, yes,
better.
I would say for better. I was talking about that. I think that even if you have a bad experience, it will be good,
Yes.
Yeah.
Either a good or bad, you will always learn something for your life, for yourself, and it only teaches you. I mean, it's very hard to be an immigrant. It's really hard. It's not easy to be alone without your loved ones, your family, and you have to build, everything. Since when you move, nobody knows you. Nobody knows you financially, or you don't have friends, so it's hard.
Yeah, I don't know. My first year here, I have been living in Sweden for about 13 years now. So I don't know if I can say that I am completely adapted, because when you move, when you immigrate, you will never be a whole person again.
Why?
Yeah, because
you become part. You mean you are split?
Yeah, because I have double citizenship, right? Yeah, but I can't say that I am a Swede. 100%, right? But when I am in Brazil, I don't feel like I am 100% Brazilian.
I see. So you are somewhere in between.
Yeah, somewhere in between. Yeah, and this is not something that only I experience, because I have been talking to other people. I have clients that have immigrated to Sweden as well, and they say the same thing. Yeah. they never feel like complete anymore, right? So they enjoy being here, but it's always missing something, like Carolina said, friends and family, maybe the food you used to eat and you miss it. It's always missing something, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
I think Carolina is about to introduce Gilberto.
Yes, but Elena, I put on mute because Elena was talking too much. So he will come later.
Okay,
But
don't worry about Elena so much. I am fortunate enough to have a friend who is going to do some editing. So as Márcia doesn't know me so well, but Carolina does. I'm the kind of person that I try to go off the script. So whatever happens, whatever is natural, all right, we just go along with that and we carry on. The matter, right? The point is, I would like to upload this video to my YouTube channel and just let people know, hearing from expats, what is life like when you decide, right? Because the other question I may have is this one now. When you came within yourself and you knew for a fact that you would embrace this decision, the decision of becoming an immigrant. I don't know why people call immigrant an expat. This is new vocabulary to me.
A foreigner. I don't know.
Just a way to express things.
Yeah.
But when you made the decision, of course, it may have taken months to really comply with the decision and go on. Do you remember this moment?
I think it's a bit different from person to person.
Exactly.
The way we deal with the decision, because some people, they just take the decision like that. They don't think too much. And some people, they analyze too much before they take the decision. In my case, it wasn't so difficult because I got married to a Swede. Right. So, and he was living in Brazil. Then we got married in Brazil. He moved to Brazil so we could get married in Brazil. And he was living there and he had some kind of adaptation problem. I don't have time to go through everything right now, but we decided together, like, okay, we think that it would be good for us to go to Sweden right now. Right. So I was very enthusiastic and I didn't think about challenges, you know, I just thought about possibilities and opportunities. I had a very positive mindset then. And I think for many people it's like that. They don't consider in the beginning that can come a lot of challenges that they will deal with. In the beginning, everything is like, wow, flowers. And then when they arrive in the country, and they face the daily routine, then they begin understand that, okay, it's not everything like I thought.
Not everything is pink. Not everything is pink.
No. What do you think, Caroline?
Well, yes, I totally agree with you. Let's first introduce Gilberto here.
Yay!
Hi,
Glad to see you. See, there's a love story everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, for us, I mean, when for us, I think it was a hard decision. Because we completely didn't plan to be an expat. I was working in this company for many years, and I was traveling to Germany because it's a German company, and it was, I was used to. But then they invited me to join the team here in 2017. And to be completely honest, it was a little bit, I was totally surprised. I was not expecting. I was working with it because at the time our vice president from Americas was from here, and then our director invited me, and I was completely, shocked. I would say in the beginning, I was very surprised.
Surprised, yeah.
Yes, I was happy, and I would say because it was my work, right? It was a result of my work. But by the end, I was like, okay, oh my God, what we are going to do? Shall we go? Shall we stay? We are very, Selene knows, we are very close to our family.
Yeah, and I just want to add, sorry to interrupt, because this will be a suspense. Carol has the best story ever with taking pets from America. Wait to tell. Sorry to interrupt. This is a teaser. If you are watching this video, stay with us because this story is worth listening. And maybe can tell the story. I'm sorry, Carol, I have interrupted you. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I was just thinking, and then we talked, we both, and then said, okay, what shall we do? Shall we go? I think for Gilberto and his job, his automation engineer, would be also nice. There would be a good opportunity because in Brazil at that time, there was, a lot of problems with the economy. And then we thought, okay. Yes, there was, or there is always, I would say. But now it's everywhere, right? Now it's everywhere.
Yeah.
But then, exactly. So then we finally decided to come. There was, like Selene said, we have 5 dogs at a time. And then we said, okay, I can't leave my dogs here. They are, part of the family. So we had to check how we would do it, if we would bring them, and then we decided to come, right? We talked a lot. It took like 1 month for us.
Yes, maybe. Let's hear something from Gilberto. Hi, my dear. Yes.
I think we talked about like 1 month to decide if we would come or not.
Did you make a list? Did you make a pros and cons list?
Yes, we made a pros and cons list. We made calculations to see, okay, because we didn't want it to come and, starve or, we had a comfortable life there. So it's not something that we were looking for. I think it was an opportunity that came to our door, and then we said, okay, let's try. If it doesn't look good, we come back. And then we thought, let's go and stay for 3 years, and then we come back.
Excuse me, just a second. Marcia, do you have something you would like to say? Do you need to leave? Your husband. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
This is my husband. He's Swedish, but
what a good photograph. What a good photograph this is. What a nice photo. Right. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I can take a picture because we will have to leave soon. So
yeah, we have to leave.
Right.
Smile, everyone! Yay! Yeah, I took a picture in my phone. So the only thing I can say now, very quick, one thing that was very challenging for me moving to Sweden was the climate here. The temperature is very low, and the darkness. So, yeah, but
such a beautiful word. I love the way the words sound. Darkness, yes, but not really happy sensation.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, of course, it's cozy. the winter is cozy and everything about the winter, but the long winter, it's something very overwhelming, and we have to learn how to cope with that. So we are not used to this. Even the Swedes are not used to the long winter, so they are always trying to escape during the winter. So yeah. So this is one thing that I can contribute with. Sorry, I have to leave.
No, that was splendid. Thank you so much.
As you saw,
time zone,
with Thai and everything,
make a difference. Yeah.
But we split another time.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
I will go on with Jupersu. No, I would like Jupersu to make the narrative of the dog's story from his mouth.
Okay.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you, Carolina.
Yes. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Bye. So, yes, you guys can tell the dog story, your version of the dog story.
Yeah, actually, Jupersu had to, Elena is crying a lot, so he will have to come later and tell you the story.
Yeah, maybe we can add his video telling his version of the dog story, and I use that to my channel.
Yes, it is. It was a long story about the dogs.
It's worth
yes, it was
story.
overwhelming, but we basically, you can add his story later.
Sure, both versions. Wonderful. Yeah. For exercises.
So, exactly. It was my babies, right? So I wanted to make sure that they arrive safe here, and how we would do it. So we went to the vet, we discussed it with them, and then I had a friend who came for the same company, and she brought a dog too. And then I asked her, how did you do? Can you share your thoughts and the company, what you did, so tips. I can evaluate. Tips. Exactly.
How would you take 5 dogs to the US?
Yes.
Manual.
Yes. First, everybody said I'm crazy because, nobody had 5 dogs, right? He's here in US. You have 1, 2, and nobody takes 5 dogs overseas. But okay, I said, well, if I'm going, I have to take
one. Let's be the first one.
I will not let my dogs here, especially in Brazil, when nobody wants to adopt dogs, So there is also not a adoption culture. I think it's coming now. People is getting more conscious about it. But my dogs were also not young pets, so imagine.
And not tiny either. They were huge dogs.
Exactly. So then this friend informed the company that she brought her dog, and then I contacted them and made a quote and evaluated. I evaluate like 3 companies. And this one I had a good good information, or people who brought it. So I said, okay, I negotiated a little bit with them, and then we arranged everything to all the paperwork. It's a lot of documentation.
Yeah, and it's not cheaper by the dozen, right?
Yeah. No.
You don't get the discounts the more you.
No discount. It was expensive. I can't imagine how much it's now, but at that time was also. So basically, then we get everything organized, and then we contracted them to pick up the dogs in our Brazil house and deliver here in our new house here. So they would go there, pick them, put them in the I forgot the name. It's like a crate, a dog one. Must be exactly the size and for them. So otherwise, because U.S. had a regulation that must be not so big or not so small. So there was particular dimensions that we needed to follow, and then they all got in the same flight because I wanted them to be all together. I was horrified, I was horrified. I was very afraid that they got lost or something,
Dogs everywhere. Scarce dogs around the US.
So
what the lucky dog goes to New York. One not so lucky dog goes to Iowa or Alaska.
I don't know. Yes. So I said, okay, we need all them together, and okay. And then I, on the other hand, they came 1 month after me and after you. So then we were waiting. I took half day off job to wait them at home. And we followed since the flight there. I was talking with the family. Everything was with the company. Everything was okay. And then everything was fine. And then when I arrived at home to wait, and they were supposed to arrive like 5, their flight from New York to Charlotte got delayed.
Oh.
Because of some paperwork. I don't know what happened in the system. They were not exactly. And so there was no flight that they could come on that day. So they had to sleep there in the airport and then come the other day. And then I was oh my God. Yes. I was so afraid because I said, okay, they are going to, stay without
food. His family had to spend the night at the airport.
Exactly. Yeah. Then I called them. They said, they have this. The airport was not really New York. Was Newark. It was closed there. And then I said they have a place there, a good place for pets. They will take the pets out of the crate and obviously give food and okay. And then I was like, obviously I was not happy with the situation, but I couldn't do anything. So on the other day we called and we tracked it and everything was fine. So they got the flight and they supposed to arrive in the same time and the end of the day. So basically they spend another 24 hours, I would say, there until they arrive at home.
Oh boy.
Then a van brought all, because it was 5 big crates, right?
That should have been shot. That should have been a video. You should have a video with that.
I have it.
You have a video?
Yes. Oh. I have a video. I have pictures with them. And then they arrive.
The moment they see you again, that is great. We need to share that.
It was.
We should share.
Yes, I have to track, but I definitely have it. I remember when the van arrived and then we took all of them. They were like, oh my God, they just kissed us. And, they were so happy that we finally, they were seeing us. And then we let them in the backyard, and then they were kind of very stressed because they were running around,
getting to know where am I?
Yes. And I think they didn't eat, some of them, like for 3 days because they were very stressed, just drink water and kind of running around or identifying,
adaptation. And this is interesting because in the end, all what we're talking about is adapting to a new situation, adapting to a new place, adapting to a new environment. And we have this instinct, irrational demonstration from 5 dogs, and we are just comparing we humans with the rational side, with the cortex, with the ability to rationalize everything, and the the animals there, they show us immediately what adaptation means.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. It was not easy for them, and I mean the dogs were not young. Hook at that time was like 11, almost 10 were like so 11, 10, and 7. So they were old dogs, right? So I was worried about them, but thanks God everything was well. They got stressed, obviously took a while for them to kind of, okay, where am I, and the new house and everything.
After how much time do you believe that you felt that they were like, okay, this is my new home? When did you feel that?
I don't know. I think it took a little. It took maybe some days or a week to them to kind of
But
adapt.
less
Okay,
than a
now,
month. Less
yes,
than a month.
yes, and I think that in the beginning also they were kind of, because it's a totally new environment. They kind of fight to. They had a little small fight. Them, I don't know what happened, but they were very stressed in the beginning. Very stressed. And here also most of the dogs stay inside, right? And in Brazil they were kind of used to be outside because of the weather.
This is something interesting talking about. The American culture, usually they keep the dogs inside, and most of times out of safety, if somebody leaves the house, they keep the dogs in cages, right? It's very common to see that.
Yes, and but there are some people who has dog. I mean, in the other neighborhood that we lived, there were a person who had a dog almost in outside in a small house and in a chain. The dog were living very sad.
Oh, really? Yes. Chained. That's
yes.
I thought it was only. See, that's silly of me to imagine that only in Brazil people keep dogs in chains. No, of course not. There is
yes,
sadness. There is everywhere.
It is everywhere. Yes. So we kind of have to, because they most of the time stay inside because of the weather. So we had to go. I mean, we tried to walk with them every day in the beginning, right? Or most of the time, so they could get, more exercise or their energy, because they would stay just at home sleeping. When we came back from work, then we went outside and also to find a house with for the dogs and everything.
Yeah, comfortable enough.
Yes. So,
and what kind of things you would hear from Americans, from colleagues, from co-workers about your decision, about your carrying on 5 dogs abroad? What do you hear from the Americans?
Yes, your personality is back.
So if you want that I continue the conversation with your person, it's okay, because I know you guys have to alternate with the kids. I know.
Yes.
The kids are not part in this recording yet.
Yes. Just finishing the question or trying to answer. Everybody was like, "What?
Oh my God! What?
You were going to bring 5 dogs? You were crazy." Or they were saying, "You won't find a house for 5 dogs?" Or how you manage? Nobody would accept. I had to ask for support, but people didn't know, and then I had to find with a realtor myself to find a house that were accepting it. We had to pay extra fees.
Yes.
It was not easy, but we made it. And then, but
that's the result.
Yes, yes, and everybody was saying, "What? 5 dogs, but they are small ones." I said, "No, they are kind of medium." And then when they see the picture, say, "Oh my God, how then how can you survive, you know? And then now that we have 2 kids, I said, well, I have now, unfortunately, one of our dogs was old, a hooker passed away last year. And now we have 4, and then say, oh my God, you have 4 big dogs and 2 kids. How you guys are?
Yeah, no, you manage,
yes.
you manage, right? You know, people, I think everyone reacts surprised in this way because you don't know how much strength you have until you have to use it, right?
Yeah.
So it was necessary for you to embrace the decision, the 5 dogs and the kids and the new life, new home, new regulations, but you didn't know you were this much of a strong woman.
Yes, I think you have to embrace it and make it happen. I mean, thanks God that everything went well. And I said, well, if we would take it, we'll take the Holy Family. So then they are parted. And
otherwise, take it or leave it is
all
the 7 of us, or no one of us.
And now, even now, when we go for a walk with the dogs and the kids, the people kind of sneaking or seeing and say, oh my God, how they can survive, how they can handle it, you know?
It's part of you. It's part of you. This is you. You have what? You have 4. You have 8 souls to take care. 8 souls. There are 8 souls. So thank you so much, Carol. Gilberto, let's hear something from you. There is my friend Gilberto.
Hi, how are you?
Good, better now because I see you. Tell us your version about being an expat.
Sorry.
How does it feel? How does it feel to be an immigrant? Or to be an expat?
Well, I don't know. I could not hear what have been said, but
no, it's not what you want to say. It's your feeling.
I always try to have kind of, you know me. I always try to have kind of having a rational answer about the feelings.
I know engineer, but the engineer has heart. You can speak from the heart.
The worst thing is the language barrier and the culture barrier as well. Of course, we came here, we in another country, but you kind of always compare where you are from, or and think, oh, that's not like that in Brazil, or so.
Compare.
I don't know if that's right or wrong.
You're using interesting.
In the beginning, I had that a lot. Had a lot of comparison and kind of maybe criticizing, maybe we're trying to justify our hard time in staying here, something like that. But, the main thing is that the language and the culture. Then after that, for us Brazilian, we have the issue with family. Now we are very tied to the family, and the friend as well. I mean, the biggest challenge was that, but I mean, I have this impression, at least talking about US, people came here or most of people want to came here to make money, or of course living better. I would say, in general, I mean, of course, I cannot say for 100% of the people, but in general, the way, for example, comparing with Brazil, unless you live in a very difficult situation, but living in Brazil and here, I mean, would say it's the same thing regarding your well-being, your happiness, you know what I'm saying? Because we have some things that are easier and more nice in Brazil, and here is other stuff, so and especially if you talk about money, you came to here, but you can somehow make some money, but you have a lot of expenses around.
You work
read, and the main thing or the main issue I see about US is regarding health costs.
Right.
It's very expensive.
There is for everybody to make it loud and clear. There is no SUS in the US.
No, there is no health.
Yes, go on.
Like in Brazil, of course, we know in Brazil is not that nice thing, but
there is something. There is something.
Some help, yeah. Here we do not have that. I think that's, from my point of view, that was the main reason more than 1 million of Americans died of COVID.
Oh my God, that's very important to make it clear. 1 million died in the US.
Yeah. So because the people don't go after health system, you have to pay a lot, and other issues. I don't want to go inside the discussion about politics or what's right or wrong, but we don't have like a law in Brazil, a labor law in Brazil, like CLT in Brazil. Here in the US, I always compare about that when people ask me. Ask if you know how is being an entrepreneur in Brazil. It's like being a hired person or employee in US. The same thing. You don't have, like, say, the help of CLT or labor laws. You have, of course,
security. Laws. You mean, the Brazilian CLT, one way or the other, ensures security, and in the US, you are your own security, right?
Like that. So I bring that discussion because meaning, for example, you don't have sick paid leave. If you need to go to the doctor, you're going to lose 1 day of work, or use 1 day of your vacation.
And that will be discounted, and that will not be in your paycheck, right?
Yeah. Or you have to use a vacation day. And you don't have to work vacation day.
In other words, you lose. You get sick, you lose.
Yeah. So that means, people didn't go after too much having health care because of that. You have the financial cost, and you have the other costs regarding your working days,
So people auto-medicate that a lot. Like if you are sick, they don't try to go to the doctor so much because everything is expensive, and if you don't have a health insurance, because health insurance is expensive. Basically, if you are sick, if you have an injury or something, and you have to go to the hospital, doesn't mean that they are not going to attend you. They will, and they will do it properly. The only thing that you will receive the bill after.
The bill, yeah. The point is,
yes, how you pay it, then you have to negotiate, or I don't know, but the bill will come, and it's not cheap.
Yes, that's it. And you use, that's interesting listening from each one of you, because Gilberto gave us this word, right? Because I try to select the keywords. Those keywords will help me when I do the editing of the video, right? And I can create a list of the things discussed during this video. So you mentioned comparison, right? You brought this word. Carol also mentioned the idea that financially, right? The benefits of finance, but also the costs. Everything costs a lot with the dogs and everything else. Now I'd like to try to ask something to try to bring funny aspects. Are you able to tell a funny story of a cultural shock, or something that may have sounded a rejection, but you were able to turn the situation into something light, comparing both cultures?
Well,
I know
the most.
Is that a long question?
Yeah.
No,
No,
I
I
don't know
mean-
if you remember one, but I remember the girl in the McDonald's.
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah,
one thing.
what happened?
Yeah, okay, we're going to mention about that. But I mean, the most thing we face the issues. It's funny because we are always fighting with the Amazon Echo Dot, or the Alexa device.
No. What happens?
No, all the time we say something, she never understands what you say.
Oh, because you go in Portuguese.
No, we
No.
say English, but you don't have good
Our
pronunciation.
accent.
Are you
Your accent
kidding me?
pronunciation. Yeah.
Are you kidding me? She doesn't
Yeah.
get it. She's so dumb.
No, yeah, I mean, yeah. Right now, I just turned off because I have an alarm from my front door that when detect movement tells
Yes.
me in the speaker, and I create a routine which I just say, "Wait, ring." I mean, two simple words, and
Yeah.
that's supposed to work, but she never understands when I say that. It's kind of.
Yes. And
So I just turn
doesn't
off.
she ask for confirmation? I think maybe you can program her to say again. Can't you tell her, Alexa, if you do not understand the first time, do not hesitate. Ask again. Doesn't
Yeah, they're not
doesn't-
they're not that smart, Yeah. But I mean, yeah, Carol wants to mention about the McDonald's.
Story.
Our first week here, we had our car booted. Yeah.
Why?
That was funny
Yeah,
too.
You
because we
mean,
went.
sorry, I'm having trouble with booted. Booted is not tow away. Tow away is rebocado. Now, booted,
Yeah.
what is
Yes.
booted?
Boot is when they put that lock on your wheel, and so you're not able
I
to
see.
drive.
I
the
had
car.
that once in a shopping mall here in São Paulo.
You?
I had it, yes, because I was there for more than 6 hours. My car was an old Chevette, right? And I guess they thought I was an employee or something. When I went back to the car to return to Sorocaba, it was booted.
Oh my
I have the
God.
story here. Now, tell your story.
Yeah, so we went was on my first or second week here, but we went for a night go to a brewery. Here we have a lot of in Charlotte. It's very nice regarding that.
Beer
The
time,
micro
right.
brewery. And it's a very nice place. So we were there kind of
To have dinner.
Yeah, to have dinner is like almost in downtown area. So I mean, very crowded and hard to find
Parking space.
Parking spots, yeah.
Space is hard.
Yeah. So we've been driving around and not finding spot. Then we found a kind of a parking area, a big parking area. Like, because that's another issue regarding cultural issues we find here. Here's everything's open, I mean, we don't have walls or fence. Of course, you have somehow, but most of everything's open. So in the beginning, we had the issue try to identify which is a public area or not. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because in Brazil, that's kind of very clear for you. I mean, we have this culture in Brazil. If there is no fence or walls, you just walk. You're allowed to walk, but it's not like that in the US. So anyway, we find that parking open area, but we haven't noticed a signal that was a private parking or parking only for the company business during the day, and
So you parked.
So we
there.
left. Yeah, we
And
parked there.
There were some cars there too.
Yeah, there was a few
Alright.
cars. I'm not sure if they belong to the company or not, but. So when we came back, we find that boots and in the beginning we didn't understand. I mean, it was a guy sitting in a car next to our, and he started saying, "Oh, you got your car booted. You got your car booted." And in the beginning, I didn't understand what he was meaning. And we kept walking because it was late night. We kind of got worried about our safety. So, and then we noticed in the car that thing in the wheel blocking the front wheel.
Oh my God.
And then the guy came, "Oh, you have this boot. I mean, you you're not allowed to drive. Then say, okay, so how I do know? No, you have to pay to remove that, Then I was kind of pissed off, but
everything works with money. You have to pay bail for the car.
But I mean, the main thing was that I pissed off because it was our first week here, or the company's car, everything. So we kind of
there was no clear signal telling that you may not park here. There was a small, tiny one. Very in the corner, very far away. We're saying, hey, you cannot park here. That is just I don't know for
I think
they do it intentionally,
probably that probably he made some agreement.
It's part of this scam.
Yeah,
not scam, but somehow I think the guy made some agreement with the business owner. Let me make some money with probably maybe I think. Today think better. Maybe the real story is the guy had his business. He don't want to people keep parking on his parking lot because it makes sense, Even the people, because as you know.
But then no chains. In Brazil, we find chains everywhere. Everywhere they have this parking area on the driveway, and they put chains, but not there.
Yeah, so the guy probably have to anyway. So then the guy asked $100,
$150, I think.
$106, I think.
But did you have to call someone who asked?
$120.
No,
the guy. The guy released the lock. The guy has the key.
But how did you find him?
No, he was. As I told you,
he was around. He was nearby.
He was
waiting. And we had I think it was 120, and we had only two $100 bill. And anyway, and he said he have no exchange, so I had to
And there is no fix in America. Americans do not accept it.
No, they have some kind of similar service, but I adopt the guy who would accept that.
Cash is prevails. Cash prevails in US.
Yeah, because they are very aware of things they can be sued about it. So I adopt the guy who would kind of get more compromise and have some documents to me or something that I can go later after going back after him, using the law. But anyway,
everybody is really afraid of the word sue. The word sue is terrifying word.
Yeah. So anyway, so wait here. I'm going to look for how to exchange that. So I spotted a gas station near there, but as I told them in the beginning, because of that cultural issue. In Brazil, every gas station will have people working, right? It's common to see.
Yes.
Here not. I saw the gas station was lit. Okay, I thought it was open, but I walked through there. There's a small office, window. I knock in the window, no answer. Then I figured there's anybody working there.
It looks like a movie.
Yeah, like that. Like you have, it was lit, the gas pump was on. You use automatic your credit card for filling your car anyway. So I could not find it here. So then I look around and I spot
a dance house.
Yeah, dancing house. Yeah, a small place where you a small place where I have is a night bar with music, basically. Yeah, I spot there. Okay, maybe it's a good place. So I start walking, but it's kind of very weird people inside there, And when I right in the front door, there's a girl sitting in a desk to get the money for the tickets to go inside.
I see.
And there was very loud music, And I asked her, I needed to exchange it. And she thought I want to buy the tickets to go inside entrance. I said, no, I don't want entrance tickets. I want to exchange this,
Just money. Just give me some
money. With place. And she kind of
didn't have money.
No, I cannot exchange that. I don't know if she was afraid of me or not.
Yeah.
Anyway, so was it possible to exchange
and what
that
was the place like? It was a stripper?
No, no stripper.
No, no.
Kind of those, how to say,
Oyster bar.
No, the running rock and roll, but dark rock and roll. People
I
like,
see.
using
maybe
dark clothes.
Children of the night kind of thing.
Yeah.
All right.
And we noticed that in the US, we have, the people are very weird here somehow, have every kind of person you find here, and we always notice that.
All kinds of people.
Yeah.
And all kinds.
And that's it. And so anyway, so it was possible. So I had to walk away, and I found another couple in the street, talk with them. They didn't want as well. So anyway, I went back to our ordeal to try to exchange money. Yeah,
right.
So I went back to that brewery we were drinking, and the guy was very nice with me, and he could exchange the money for me. So I went back and paid the money, but we are pissed off that time. But it was, today we lost.
To have the car released.
Yeah.
Yes, because the problem is that here everybody is allowed to, or not everybody, but a lot of people can have guns, So
and the terrifying story is a recent story what happened there recently.
Exactly.
Like,
Unfortunately, it's a tragedy, right? It's a tragedy. Exactly. So I was always afraid. I said it's person. Just don't excuse, because you never know, right?
Yeah, you never know
if they are legal or not. We were just new here. And then I said, let's not excuse. You don't know if the guy has a gun or not. So let's pay and get out of here. And then we discuss with our, at a company, or we see what is legal or not. So we learn, right? But
exactly.
At that time,
that's a very important mindset.
Exactly.
We learn.
Yes, because we were, just new. We didn't know. And we didn't know. He showed that there was a sign on there, a board saying that we cannot. So we were not correct. So let's just pay and get it out of this. And then we investigate further, because when you are in another country, you have to, you have to follow the rules, right? The legal rules. So if we were not correct, you have to be safe in first instance. So I think that was my mindset. Let's see, let's pay, let's leave, and let's get us safe, because, it was night. We didn't know the person. We didn't know if they had gone, and the environment was not safe. So I didn't want us to stay longer than that,
Yeah. But now was a funny story.
At that time was not funny, because like all he said, it was not nice. But now thinking, it was kind of okay. It's an experience. Now we learn. We always say, like you said, now we learn. We always say, can we park here? Is that safe? So and then we never had this problem again after
Wonderful that you say that. Now we ask, can we park here? Great, because people are, when we're discussing language barriers, right? People are afraid to make mistakes. And the problem is not the mistake. The problem is the consequence of not trying. I'm not saying you did wrong. I'm not saying that. But the thing is, if you express your doubts, and if you let people know exactly what you were afraid of, or what should be the best or the correct way, they answer properly, right?
Yeah. Yes, I think that
they have to.
Yes, I think that if you, we don't know everything, so I think the best advice is really ask. Okay, ask. Or even if you were talking and the person, this happens a lot with us in the beginning. Even we spoke already English, but our accent was not clear, or people doesn't make it easy for any expat or immigrant as well here. It's like you have to know, you know. So when we were talking and people don't, and you didn't understand it, then you should, I didn't understand. Can you repeat? You have to repeat and ask again, because nobody will do it for you.
Yes. Thank you. This is a great sentence. Say it again. Say it again. You have to repeat and ask again.
You have to repeat and ask, because nobody will do it for you. So
nobody will do it for you.
Yeah.
And that's something, I mean, we notice, I mean, we have that feeling kind of always. I learned that in the beginning, watching some videos of English learning, and the guy
and
said,
you had a very nice teacher to help you, right?
Yeah. But I mean, they said you don't have to say sorry because of your bad English or such, you know.
Exactly.
You don't have to say anything about that. Exactly. You have just talking, and that's something I noticed. And even between the American people, they do that all the time. They ask, they say, could you say again? You know, for between them, they have issue in their.
That is gonna go viral on YouTube. Just that sentence is gonna go viral.
Yeah, I mean, could you say again? I mean, it's not a big deal. And we, in the beginning, we think about that, but I mean, we don't have to worry about that, and just ask them. And if they want to, then because in the other side, we make a lot of people mad with us, because we keep asking, can you say again? Can you say again? Sometimes they get mad,
It's
it's
not your problem. It's the way they take it. If they take it this way, it's not your problem. It's theirs.
Yeah, and of course, it's tough. I mean, they have a lot of accents here, and somehow I say they are kind of lazy to speak, but it's their language, it's their culture, the country, you know. But I ask them.
If we go to Minas Gerais, if we go to Bahia, if we go inside Brazil in the countryside, we hear hundreds of different accents as well. So
yeah. And then we had that funny story recently in the McDonald's.
Okay, let's hear that.
Drive-through, we are ordering just simple things, and we ordered a few things, and the girl said some sentence we didn't understand.
She was very fast, and then we didn't understand. And then we asked it, what again? Or can you repeat? And then she just said, what do you want? You know?
I see.
And then,
she was really...
We were like we were very stupid people, you know? And then we were very pissed off. But then after we started to laugh because it was funny, you know?
I said, okay.
Because they can adjust their speed, right? It means.
Yes, and then Gilberto did the same, because then she said, what do you want? And then Gilberto, I want a Big Mac.
That is the speed.
Yeah, because you know that maybe I don't know if it's a feeling of don't liking that immigrant people is right there in front of you.
Okay.
Because they don't have that. They're not capable of being sensitive. Oh, I'm speaking with a foreign person right now, and I should talk slowly or somehow, you know.
And when they see, they figure out
as possible. Yeah. Because when they figure out, the guy is struggling to understand me, so let's talk a little bit more slowly. But you have to ask. Then when you ask, can you speak slowly? Then they do that most of the time, you know. But they are not capable by themselves for doing that.
I think that is a kind of, to be honest, I think it's cultural thing, because, I mean, everybody in the world basically, they in their thought, they think that everybody knows English, you know, or still know English, but there are a lot of I mean, when you move here and then you are trying to get things done, and there are a lot of, I mean, even if you speak English, the accent and the speed that they are speaking, you have to understand, you have some kind of difficulties. And then they know that you are not from here, right? They can
it's
see
right
your
on
accent.
their face.
So
it's right
exactly,
on their face.
first in your face or your language, and then they should be able, I mean, more sensitive, like Super said. They could be like, okay, let's speak a little bit slowly because she's not from here, but they don't have that. They just start to blah, 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 and then you have to ask, can you repeat or can you say it slowly? We are not from here. When they should already, they have already recognized it, you know?
Yeah,
This
so
is-
then what you were saying is money well invested to practice language with a good instructor, right?
Yeah,
One
I
way or
think
the
that
other, it's
any language that you learn, it's a benefit.
exactly.
Any language that you learn, it's a benefit. I mean, even now when I say something, and now, I mean, I'm 5 years here, right? So I don't speak like perfect. I always have to learn.
Define perfect. What is perfect?
I don't know.
Define.
I mean, I don't speak English as a native.
Never will. Nobody.
I never will. So I still have to learn a lot. I still have accent, and sometimes I would say some word, and then it's the other day they were making fun of my friends at work because I said jewelry, like
jewelry, right?
Jewelry, and then they say like January, and then I say like January. I said no, jewelry. So they were making fun of me. I said I said like, well, English is not my native language.
My first language, not my mother language.
You have to so let me know how it is, and then one of the other found a little bit because I was like, English is not my native language, so how is the correct sound?
Não sou obrigada, right? The good Brazilian, não sou obrigada, não sou obrigada.
And then one of the other colleagues said, well, and I don't speak another language, so I have to congratulate you that you speak more than one language.
Exactly.
You know? So I said, yeah. And then, but it was just, I mean, funny things, you know?
Well, another thing regarding that language speaking, I noticed at work, because, or another comparison for us who speak Portuguese is big. I think the biggest for me, and maybe for everybody who speak Portuguese to try to learn language, English, because in Portuguese, I think maybe 90% of the words, we say every letter in the word.
Yeah, we are syllabic. We go by syllables, right? They go by sounds.
Yeah, and we almost all the letter have the same sound in almost all the words. I mean, we have very few exceptions. But in English, I understand that they kind of memorize the sound of word. They do not, let's say, because you can have two words with similar letters and complete different sounds. You know what I'm saying? And because that they can memorize, of course, we learned that since you was born, and they memorize that. Because I'm telling that because in the words, sometimes we start talking with the guys about anything in the life, and they mention something, and I said, well, I didn't understand that. What word? I said, oh, that's this word. Don't you know? No, I don't know this word. Can you spell that? And they cannot spell that word.
They can't
spell that word to me, you know? That's funny.
Yeah, because language, right? Initially, language is an oral thing, and communication is established by gestures, by face expressions, by behavior, and by vocabulary. So many times you are not aware of the form of the word you're saying, written form of the word you're saying. So you guys have the 5 dogs, right? Now 4 to take care, and I have 1 cat. +3. I have 1 cat with problem +3 that are okay. And the vet is coming because this cat has kidney problems and he needs to get a shot. All right?
Okay.
A shot of sure.
Maybe some vitamin, or maybe there is an IV, what we call soro, right? Is going to use a soro, an IV, to help this cat, to help the kidneys, right, for operate.
To work properly. I have another.
I'm so thankful that you guys joined.
Just adding something. It was yesterday we are talking about language and everything, right? I mean, it takes for us forever to learn, and this is the feeling. It will. I mean, it's a constantly learning, right?
Yeah, you never learn at all.
Yes, because it's not our mother language, so it's learning. But something funny happened yesterday with Lucas. So Lucas and Helena speaks both. Like we speak Portuguese, and they go to daycare, so they know both languages. And yesterday we were talking. I was telling him that next week I'm going to bring him to the doctor, and then he said, I have been to the doctor. I've been to the doctor. I have been to the doctor.
You said it all the words, all the
correctly. Yes,
oh,
I already have been to the doctor. He said, and I never taught him.
You never mentioned present perfect. Never
and then it
mentioned.
was like yes, and then it was like, oh my God, he knows already. You know, it took for me maybe. It took for me like, I don't know, 5 or more years, and he just already know. And sometimes he just correct himself, like, comes instantly for him.
Hey, that's it. The magic of, acquiring a language.
Yes, it is very, very nice. And sometimes even him talks something to us, and the accent, right? We don't. The other day he said something. I said, I didn't understand. What did you say? And then he said something again, and then he did the same as the girl in the McDonald's.
Right. That's cute. See, splendid.
And then I told him, that's great, Lucas. Oh, you are so smart. You speak 2 languages. So in the future, when I'm old, you can teach me to speak better English.
He can work as an interpreter. He can go to the UN. He can have a very
it is. And now because
language for free.
Exactly. But he didn't have the conscience. I don't know if the word is correct. The conscience of having 2 languages, because
they don't.
No, because he was born, and he is born here, and he's talking both languages. So he didn't know that he speaks both, and then we started
bilingualism from the crib.
Exactly. And say, hey, you speak both languages. This is in Portuguese and that in English. Once I told him, and now he has this understanding. And then he said, and then sometimes he says the word in Portuguese. And said, this is in Portuguese, Mimi. I said, yeah. So you learned what I said.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right.
But
Thank you so much.
Yes.
The vet is here. I really have to go and be with him. Thank you so much. As soon as I have the video edited, I'll let you see, and off we go to YouTube.
Yes.
Beijo no coração. Muito obrigada, entendeu? Iluminou meu domingo.
Foi ótimo te ver. Beijo. Saudade grande. Fica com Deus. Beijo. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.